Hey guys, what are you laughing at?
Tell him.
No, you tell him, Steve.
Come on, it's about you.
What, don't you guys want to tell me?
No. Three horns never play with long legs.
I don't have long legs. Are you sure about that?
Long legs, long legs, long legs, long
Leave me
legs.
alone. Get his legs.
Let me go! Let me go!
Huh? Get out of the way! Son, are you okay?
Yeah, Ma, I'm fine, but I think my leg's broken.
Let's go home now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the conclusion of the Lost World Week here on Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Kenner, the Lost World Jurassic Park Triceratops, and we're also featuring special guest Brad Jost from the Jurassic Park Podcast. He'll be coming up in just a little bit to talk about the Lost World Triceratops and do some comparisons for us. So the Lost World Triceratops here is not something I ever owned as a kid. In fact, I find it quite interesting that they didn't pack the really cool Triceratops from the Jurassic Park toy line, which we have looked at here on Victoria's Cantina. Instead, they did an all-new Triceratops, which is okay. I don't mind new offerings of the same dinosaurs, new versions. This is obviously a smaller version of Triceratops, but it just seems like a missed opportunity that they didn't repack any of the larger dinosaurs. But I guess that's also a good thing because, on the other hand, we got some really cool large-sized dinosaurs during the Lost World line. So I'm quite excited to do an unboxing of this dinosaur. And as you can see, we have the Lost World packaging look, but this is actually the trilingual packaging. You can see that it says the Lost World, then it says Le Monde Perdu, which is French, and then El Mundo Perdido in Spanish, and then Jurassic Park, which seemingly doesn't have any other translations. The rest of the packaging, you see the T-Rex. They're looming large over the Triceratops down in the bottom bubble, which you can see quite well and see the accessories that it comes with. Then it says Trike Slams free of head restraints. The back of the box shows us a little diorama that Kenner did for the Lost World dinosaurs, and you can see the Triceratops there along with its restraint gear. It looks like it's been able to get it removed. It says the Lost World Jurassic Park Triceratops Site B. And then we get a look at other offerings in the Lost World toy line, and this is really cool. We get some looks here at the larger dinosaurs. We have the Bull T-Rex right there. We have the Thrasher T-Rex, the Stegosaurus, Pachycephalosaurus. We get the Grand Tracker, then a look at the Net Trapper, Hide, Dart, Glider Pack, and Dino Snare Dirt Bike. And then some of the smaller-ish electronic dinosaurs like the Parasaurolophus, Velociraptor, Spinosaurus, Chasmosaurus, Pteranodon, and the human figures, Sarah Harding, Peter Ludlow, Triceratops, Velociraptor, and Tyrannosaurus Rex, the junior that we looked at a couple days ago. And we have the UPC right here, says Kenner, JP, and then check us out at Hasbro.com and thelostworld.com. And then down here at the bottom, we get a little insert there in the bubble that says 1997 Hasbro Canada, so I'm assuming maybe this came from Canada originally. I'm not sure. I got it from eBay, so I don't know where it came from originally. And then it gives you instructions there on getting the Triceratops' armor on. So we're going to look at that in just a little bit. But first, let's go ahead and do our unboxing here and see what this is like. So as you can see, this is in pretty rough shape. If it were like mint condition, there's no way I would open it. But yeah, it's in rough shape. So we're going to go ahead and do our unboxing on this one here. So let's go ahead and get that going. out, we have capture gear right there, and then we have our Triceratops. Yay! So the Triceratops doesn't look bad at all. It actually looks quite good. Proportions on it seem to be pretty much in line with what Triceratops skeletons look like. It looks like a Triceratops. I mean, it looks like they got the anatomy down. Everything looks pretty correct. The horns, I think, maybe look a little narrow and a little short. But it's really not too bad. I mean, it's about what you would expect for, I don't know exactly what these cost. I want to say maybe $10-ish. It's around what you would expect at that price point. Though it isn't quite as detailed as some of the other Kenner offerings that we saw in our earlier videos of the Jurassic Park and the Lost World lines. But it's not too bad either. It does feel a little bit sticky, and again, that's probably because it's been in the package for 19 years. So yeah, it's probably the plastic breaking down. So I'm going to see if I can get that cleaned up later. But let me give you a close-up here of the Triceratops' head. And it looks decent. It looks decent enough. Again, it's not anywhere close to the level of detail we saw in the JP Triceratops, the larger one. And I don't quite think that it's even as detailed as some of the other dinosaur offerings in that line, the smaller ones. But, I mean, it looks okay. Those horns are just too narrow, I think. A little too short. Unfortunately, it doesn't close its mouth. So it has kind of this goofy elephant sort of look to it. It kind of does look like an elephant a little bit. But again, it's not bad. I mean, it's pretty much, I guess, what you should expect for what these would have gone for at the time. The rest of the body is sculpted okay. The back has a nice arch to it. The tail is a little bit stubby, but Triceratopses seem to have had stubby tails. It does have some sculpting detail on here. You can see that they did give it, a good little bit of detail, but it's not anywhere near as detailed as other dinosaurs like the Lost World Velociraptor, which was a JP Ray paint. It just seems like there's a lot more texture on the raptor for whatever reason. I think even the young T-Rex maybe had more detail on it. I mean, it definitely seems like it's got a little bit more going on in terms of texturing and detail. This is a little more bland, but again, it doesn't look bad by any means. It's just not quite as nice as some of those other dinosaurs. It says JP number 44, Site B for Isla Sorna. The coloration here is kind of like an olive sort of color. It's got like a darker, almost like a greenish black sort of color there on its back, and you can see that it has that pattern which extends down to the tail. The underbelly is more of like a yellowish sort of coloration. And show you its feet. It has its little hooves. And I mean, all in all, it looks decent enough. But again, it's just not quite as detailed as some of the other dinosaurs in this toy line. And as far as getting the action feature to work, we refer here to the insert that was in the bubble. It says, pull dinosaur's right rear leg back to make its head raise. So we're going to pull its leg back, and it rams its head upward like that. That's kind of cool. I mean, that's fun. I mean, if you were a kid and you were playing with your dinosaurs, I mean, that's kind of a cool thing to do. You could kind of just bring the other one in and just make them like fight and stuff. So yeah, that'd be pretty fun. And as far as other points of articulation go, well, other than that leg, you can move the other 3 legs as well a little bit. So, it is articulated. And yeah, it's just really sticky. I really need to do something about this because, ugh. Now, in terms of the capture gear, we got these 2 little pieces right here. As you can see, they kind of form the outline of a Triceratops' head. Now, let's go ahead and refer to the packaging again. It says, place restraint gear on as shown and pull right leg back to make dinosaur break open headgear. So to get the capture gear on, looks like we're just going to follow the outlines of its head and its horns, just like that. We'll go ahead and take the other piece, do the same, and it looks like we can connect it right there. And up here at the top, too. It's not the best fit, but... So yeah, I guess it just kind of snaps and covers its head like that. I mean, it doesn't really stay in place. And it has these legs, so it kind of seems to me like it's supposed to be kind of like flat on the surface like that. So yeah, it doesn't really stay, unlike with the young junior T-Rex and the Velociraptor. So we'll go ahead and pull its leg back. Yeah, that's about what you would expect it to do. Unfortunately, it just doesn't really stay on there. I don't think it's the best use of this sort of thing with these dinosaurs. I mean, it works. It just doesn't stay on there when it's not being activated. So yeah, it's okay. I mean, for kids, something like this combined with the leg head ramming feature, I think that they would probably have enjoyed that quite a bit. All right, you guys, so now I'm going to throw it over to Brad Jost, and he's going to talk a little bit about the Lost World Triceratops and do some comparisons for us with other Jurassic dinosaurs.
Hey Victoria, thanks for having me on here so I can share some of my thoughts and memories with these toys from my past. So today, per your request, I wanted to focus on the 1997 Lost World Series 1 Triceratops. This is my original one from 1997. And my Jurassic Park toys, I absolutely played with them. And I beat them up, I threw them around, I brought them outside. And I mean, look at this thing. It actually looks really good for as much as I played with it. The colors are still really intact. And I just dug this thing out of storage recently, cleaned them all up, tried to make them look as best as possible. And I think it really does look still, almost brand new. Aside from, look at the horns. It's got a few scratches on the horns. The frill is a little beat up there, but it's nothing too major. There's some slight scratches here on the side, nothing too bad. The leg itself is a little loose, but it really doesn't affect anything. The head motion still moves perfectly. Here she comes. Look at that. This action still moves like I just took it out of the box, and I can't believe it. After so many years, since 1997, the mechanics are still intact in there. Everything is still working. It's so clean overall, and it just goes to show how well that thing was made. And right here I have it next to Dieter Stark from the Lost World series, the original Triceratops with the battle wound there, and also the Stegoceratops. Now, that Triceratops, the original one in the back, the tall one, that is one of my favorites as well. I just love the texture of it, and I love how rubbery it feels. It almost feels more realistic than any of the other ones. And it also has that little head movement with the frill. And, that one as well is severely beat up. And I actually lost the wound piece there. But overall, I love the scale of these things as well. I kind of like to think of the Lost World one as the young Triceratops, as many people do. But really, whoa! Pretty sure that was Harpoon Harrison that just drove by. but really, I used to use these Triceratops to basically smash into any vehicle. Guys like Harpoon Harrison driving by, I used to smash into them and destroy these Triceratops. But nearly 20 years later, this thing still looks good. And to be honest, I didn't really take very good care of it after the years where I was playing with it. Basically just set in a damp basement with no covering, not in a container of any sort, and it looks great. Even compared to the Stegoceratops, these screw holes and the loose frill on this thing, it just feels like it's already going to fall apart, and I've never played with this thing. I just let it sit on my shelf, and you can see these disconnected pieces. It just looks odd. But then it brings me to this little guy here. How could you not love this one? It's so sweet. It's so tiny. It's the baby Triceratops of the group. Oh, come on. I mean, what do you got to pick on this little one for? All right, we got to get the ACU in here. Can somebody please clean this up? Oh, we got the adult Triceratops out here poking it. Can we get the ACU down here now? Stat, I need some backup. I can't handle this by myself. Oh, my God. Oh, this is sad. Oh, my God. Oh, God. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my look back at the Lost World Triceratops. If you want to hear more from me, you can find me on the Jurassic Park Podcast on iTunes or wherever else you listen to podcasts. And definitely head over to Twitter and follow us at Jurassic Park Pod to stay up to date with everything we're doing on the podcast. Thanks again, Victoria, for having me on to talk about my favorite toys from Jurassic Park and the Lost World.
All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Brad, for doing that comparison for us. Be safe over there with all those Triceratopses and the Stegoceratops. All right, you guys. Well, this is the Kenner, the Lost World Jurassic Park Triceratops from 1997. All in all, you guys, I think that this is a pretty decent toy. I'm not blown away by it by any means. I was more impressed with the Junior T-Rex and the Velociraptor. This is okay. I think that it probably hit its mark back in the day for what they were trying to do. And truth be told, it's still even better than a lot of what we got with Hasbro and Jurassic World product. It's really not too bad, but it isn't the fanciest toy in this line. I think that from a sculpting standpoint, they did an okay job with it. It's not quite as detailed as some of the other Jurassic Park and the Lost World small-scale dinosaurs, but it's decent enough. The paint scheme on it is pretty naturalistic, which I'm a fan of. And the action feature I find to be pretty fun, quite honestly. The capture gear isn't bad either, though it's not the best implementation of the capture gear as we have seen with previous videos for the Lost World Week. But nonetheless, it still is a pretty fun little dinosaur, and I enjoy having it here in my collection. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Lost World Triceratops down in the comments, whether or not this is something you owned as a kid, or something you'd like to add to your collection. Be sure to visit Brad Jost at the Jurassic Park Podcast. I will throw some links down at the bottom where you can find his podcast. Also, please be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the latest in news and updates. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.